Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tina's Arena, where I share personal stories about growth, entrepreneurship, and self-love. This is the arena of my life, the playpen in which I try all of these things, and I am basically learning how to live life as a functioning adult. I used to suffer from very, very low self-esteem, intense shame, disordered eating, cool girl syndrome. Now, on the other side of most of that, I share with you the things that I have learned along the way, things that are most impactful to me, and things that have made the biggest difference in my life. So, before I get into all of that, though, I want to say this: stop watching these videos. In this video, I'm going to talk about 8 changes or habits that I have implemented in myself that have made a big difference in my life. But listen, you already know what they all are, okay? You already know what they all are. And this is not going to be any new information, so you're basically wasting your time watching this video. I'm just joking. You're not wasting your time. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am so appreciative that you're here. But my point is that you know all of this stuff already. You know what you need to do. You know it deep down in your soul, what you need to do in order for you to turn your life around. And it's time for you to start listening to yourself. But just in case you're not ready, let me walk you through the 8 things that changed my life. Okay? Number 1, I stopped drinking alcohol. Now, I know that sounds really boring, and it kind of is sometimes, but I just don't like how I feel when I drink alcohol anymore. I have this headachy feeling that I get since after I turned 30, and it just didn't resonate with me and my body anymore. Number 2, I didn't really get bad hangovers, but I got all headachy and I got tired, and usually the day after I would drink, that day was a write-off. And I hated that about myself. I did not like wasting the entire day doing nothing. I still don't like wasting the entire day doing nothing. Because when I drank alcohol, I would literally just lay in bed all day, feel brain dead, and just watch Netflix. Now, that is a waste of life to me. And most of the time, whatever I did the night before was not worth that waste of life. Obviously, there will be fun weddings to attend in the future. I'm not declaring myself sober in any way. I just don't drink alcohol. I will drink alcohol if the opportunity presents itself and I'm feeling like I'm in a mood, but I don't normally drink alcohol, okay? And I think another thing that I started to notice when I was drinking alcohol was that I started to feel like I needed alcohol in order to socialize. Now, I'm not saying that I'm any better at socializing now, but at least now I am not using alcohol to numb my feelings and to fake socialize. So now when I socialize with people, I'm doing it with my real self. I don't need to have alcohol in me in order to make myself a more fun person. I don't want people to like this version of me that I don't even like myself. So I just don't drink alcohol anymore. Okay? And being a nutrition coach, there is no positive benefits to alcohol. There might be minuscule benefits, but those minuscule benefits do not outweigh all of the negatives that come with alcohol. Trust me, I have had my share of alcohol. I know. And I'm telling you that life is better without it. Okay? Number 2 habit that has impacted my life greatly, I stopped staying out late and I started going to sleep earlier. So this goes hand in hand with number 1, with not drinking alcohol anymore. As you can see, I stopped going out and I stopped clubbing into the wee hours of the night and staying up much too late for myself and forcing myself to go to work the next day completely tired, hungover, dehydrated. That is not a fun way to live. I think that's fun when you're in your 20s because your 20-year-old body can handle it. My 20-year-old body did not get hungover. So I would happily wake up at 7 a.m. the next day, hit the gym, and then go to work. That was me. But my 30-year-old body is like, nah, girl. We want to be in bed. We want to go home. So lately, I've been going to sleep earlier. I am almost always in bed by midnight, which might be late for some people still, but that's my time. And more often than not, I'm getting ready for bed by 10 p.m. So it's usually not as late as midnight that I fall asleep, but somewhere within that time frame. And I'm not a super early bird. I wake up between the hours of 7 to 9 a.m. usually. So I'm getting my 8 to 9 hours of sleep almost every night, and I feel great. I feel great. And I want this for you. I want you to feel great. So make sure that you prioritize your sleep. And I think the other half of that is that I am sleeping on a consistent schedule now. So when I used to stay up late and I used to go to bed at 3 a.m., then I would overcompensate the next couple of days and sleep earlier. And it is commonly known that one of the ways to improve your quality of sleep is to keep the same wake up time and the same bedtime every day. So the more consistent you are with that, the better your sleep quality will be. So in terms of sleep, number one, make sure you're getting around 8 hours of sleep a day or more, like me. And number two, try to keep it at the same time every single day. That will help you feel really good. Number three, I remove people from my social media following all of the time. That is a regular occurrence for me. And I even took it a step further and I started removing people that were draining my energy from my life. And lo and behold, I started having more energy. I am probably too nice. And so I have had to learn how to set proper boundaries and really police my own time and energy because no one else is going to do it for me. People will continue to drain my energy for as long as I allow them to. So for some people, I had to completely remove them from my life in order to get them to stop. And for other people, I just talk to them less. And other people, most people in my life actually are super fine, super dandy, lovely people. And I still talk to a lot of them. So in case you missed it, number three was removing negative influences from your life. You could even take that further and consider that everything that you watch on TV is influencing you in some way. If you only listen to true crime horror stories and you have a lot of anxiety about going outside and you are scared to talk to people, I don't know. Have you considered that it's because you only listen to stories of how people kill each other all the time? I know that I'm a sensitive person and I can't watch certain episodes of Black Mirror. They creep me out. I won't sleep. I don't do horror movies. I couldn't even watch Hannibal on TV because I got so creeped out by it. It would affect me mentally and make me have the heebie-jeebies. I stopped watching most of that stuff. Control what goes in here and around here. Okay? In your mind is where I'm pointing if you're listening on the podcast. All right, so number four is a habit, but not really a habit. I'm going to say it's self-awareness. And, I don't think there's any certain order that any of these habits go in because self-awareness might be one of the most important. But is it more important than good quality sleep every night? Maybe. But at the same time, if you're not getting good quality sleep every single night over the span of months or years, then that's going to become a very important thing. And number one, you might need to prioritize sleep instead. So I think all of these things are equally important and they all build upon each other in order for you to build a healthy life for yourself. So it doesn't even matter which one you want to choose and focus on first. Just pick one work on it. And the more that you work on one, the easier it will become for you to the next one and the next one and the next one. And you build upon these habits slowly and gradually. I did not do all of this overnight. This has been years in the making. Okay. So number 4, like I said, is self-awareness, because without self-awareness, I wouldn't know who I am. I wouldn't know why I feel sad. I wouldn't know what I want to do. I wouldn't know why I want to do what I want to do. I wouldn't know what I need. Without self-awareness, then what is there? Are there people out there that are not self-aware? And what does that feel like? Because I have been working for a very long time to not judge myself over critically, but I still do it all of the time. So are there people out there that feel like they are just rocking it all of the time, every single day? Wow. Could you imagine? I don't even know what that would feel like. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. So self-awareness has been the thing. Because if I wasn't self-aware, then I would have never created this podcast. I would have never started my own business. If I wasn't self-aware, then I wouldn't. It's just everything. I don't even know how to explain it. You have to be self-aware in order to learn from your mistakes. You have to be self-aware in order to know where to go next. You have to be self-aware in order to understand yourself, because understanding and mastering the self is the journey. It is the journey. My life sucked for a long time because I wasn't aware that I wasn't living my own life. I was living my life according to other people's rules, and I had no zest for life. I just thought that it was so pointless. I remember having a conversation with my mom talking about why was I just put on this planet just to work for 9 hours a day, just so that I could eat, just so that I could sleep, just so that I could work more for 8 hours a day in a job I didn't like. I had a very, very bleak outlook on life, and I never wanted kids for a very long time because I had such a negative experience with life so far. I was always like, why would I want to bring kids into this world just to live this shitty life that I've lived? Why? I didn't understand at all why people had kids, because in my eyes, life sucked so bad. Why would I want to have a kid and force it to live this shitty life as well? And I'm grateful to say that I don't think that way anymore. I have grown from that. But I think it all started with self-awareness and dreaming of living a life that was mine. And in order to create and build the life that I wanted, I had to be self-aware enough to learn and listen to myself and understand what it was that I truly wanted. Number 5, the 5th thing that changed my life is education. I have never stopped learning. I graduated from university probably over 10 years ago at this point. But I've never stopped learning. I consume podcasts. I do online courses. I have multiple certifications. I go to therapy. I have never stopped learning. I cured my own eating disorder because I kept learning, because I kept trying to teach myself that there was more to life out there and educate myself on how to build habits, how to change behavior, why nutrition is important, what I can eat, why do I exercise. I started learning about life and about all of the ways in which I could fix myself. I read psychology books. I did so much. I've never stopped learning, and I never will stop learning. I'm always trying to do something new. Right now, my focus is on this podcast. I'm learning how to edit. I am learning how to build an online business. I'm learning how to coach clients on nutrition and fitness. I am always learning, and I'm always using these skills and building upon them and doing something new. Last year, I was learning how to dance, how to shuffle. Last year, I learned how to meditate and become a meditation teacher. I got certified in it, actually. This year, I'm learning how to become a yoga teacher. And a part of that might be ADHD, sure, but I truly believe that learning compounds everything. And I'm just compounding all of this information over time, and I'm blending it together into my own mix, my own special sauce, and now I'm teaching it back to my clients. And everything that I teach my clients has taken me my lifetime to learn. And I think that's what makes it special. That's what makes me a great teacher, is because I have spent so much time living without purpose, living with no sense of direction. And I finally have turned it all around, and I feel like I am called to share that. And I know how possible it is for everyone else, because I know how shitty and awful I felt. And I feel like if I was able to cure my own eating disorder, if I was able to feel like I have purpose and direction now, anybody can do it, because I know the type of girl that I was. I was very obedient. I was very quiet, broke no rules. Now I'm having fun, living life the way that I want to be living it, building my own dream business. So it's all possible, and it all happens through education. Habit number 6 is going to be taking action, because I was the kind of person that educated myself over and over and over and over, but never took any action. Never took any action. I've been dreaming about building my online business for over a decade at this point, and I did not get my first client until last year. Over a decade, I've been dreaming about this and just learning new methods, new techniques, taking new online courses, but never actually putting it into action. And the real reason why I never took any action was because I never felt good enough to take action. I never felt like I was good enough to have clients. I never felt like I was worthy enough for anyone to pay me. And I never felt like I was smart enough to be teaching anyone. And of course, just sitting there at home, dreaming about my dream and not doing it, it's like a cycle, right? You come up with all of these reasons why it's not you and it can't be you because you're not good enough, and then you don't do it. So then you just sit there and you stew in your own soup of sadness. But do you know how you get out of that soup of sadness? I just made that up. You take action and you learn along the way. Yes, education is so important. And yes, I have learned so much through reading and listening to podcasts and my certification courses and everything. But the real learning came from taking action. I didn't know what I didn't know until I started to take action. Once I started finding clients and building landing pages and creating reels with hooks and call to actions and value ladders, I learned all of that as I went. You create the thing that you need, and then once that's done, you're like, okay, well, how do I get this out there? Now I have to learn marketing and I have to learn emails. There is so much you don't know. And you don't know that you don't know it until you start doing it and taking action. If all you're doing is reading, then that's a really great way to build false knowledge and false hope and false confidence. Then you might start to feel like, well, why can't I do it? Because I have all of this knowledge, but you've never put anything into action. And I'm saying this so passionately because this is exactly what I did. I never put anything into action, and I just kept dreaming about this dream business. And I just was always sad because I wanted it, but I didn't know how to get it. And I just kept dreaming about it in my own soup of sadness. And the way that I finally got out of that soup of sadness was I started to take action. And actually, the way that I started to take action was I started to hire mentorship instead of just buying online courses. I hired a mentor that had a business that I admired and I wanted to build a business that was similar to hers. So I knew that she was able to teach me how to do what she did. And it's been under her guidance that I have taken the most action towards my dream, because she also favors action. Like, you can have all of the education in the world, but if you do nothing with it, then it doesn't matter. You need to take the action. And the action is the uncomfortable, scary part. And that's the reason why we put it off for so long, because it's scary and nobody wants to do it. But that's where the real learning happens. Number 7 is super quick. Less screen time. Stop scrolling all day. Stop feeding your ADHD brain. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to read a book. Stop getting your dopamine hits from random places on the internet. Chill out. You don't need TikTok, you don't need Instagram, you don't need YouTube. You need to be able to sit with yourself. And number 8, on the flip side of that, focus on creating instead of consuming, which is again action. I started posting on Facebook every day about my thoughts. I now have this podcast, which is at least 17 episodes in. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm creating and posting content on Instagram, trying to talk to my target market and build an audience in that manner. And that all feels productive because I'm actually starting conversations and meeting people and getting out there, and I'm creating. The more that I create, the happier I am. The more that I feel I am adding to society instead of just being a suck and consuming it all. I'm leaving my mark on society, and you're listening to this and I'm impacting you. I have no idea what you're going to do with this information. Maybe you pass it on to someone else. Maybe you change the world, and then maybe that other person changes the world. Or maybe you both even just affect one person in your life with stuff that I've said today. I don't know. But, none of that is even possible if I didn't create this YouTube video. So I feel called to create now. I'm no longer going to be a blind consumer of things online. I'm creating and I'm building the life that I deserve for myself. Okay, so those are my 8 habits. And if you need a recap, number 1 was no more alcohol. Number 2 was getting a lot of sleep. Number 3 was removing negative people and negative influences out of your life. Number 4 is self-awareness. 5 is education. 6, take action. 7 is less screen time. And number 8 is focus on creating. I hope that this episode has been a really, really valuable one for you. I put a lot of thought and energy into this, and I know that you know this already. So you watch this video, you listen to this podcast, don't listen to another one. You don't need any more education. What you need is to take action. So what is one thing from this list that you can do to improve your life today? Think about that. And tonight, now, later, immediately, do it. Put it into action. And then message me on Instagram at Tinas_arena_ or find me on my website at tinasarena.com and let me know how it went. Please remember that it is free to support your favorite creators. All we ask is that you like, share, subscribe, or rate the shows, whatever it is that you do on whatever platform that you're listening on. Please hit the like button, the thumbs up button, subscribe button. It will help with reach, and it will help get this episode into the hands of the people that need to hear it. Bye-bye. Good night. I love you, and I'll talk to you again next week.